In the name of God, the gracious, the merciful, we give him praise and thanks for his mercy and his goodness to the human family. If all the trees upon the earth were pens to write with, and if all the oceans were ink, and then another 7 oceans to add to its supply, the writing would still not be enough to explain the glory of God, for he's the exalted, all-powerful, all-wise. We confide in no other in our time of need, and we praise no other in our good fortune. And even if I lived to be 1,000, it would still not be enough to thank God for his many blessings and gifts. He is one. So this is Brother Shareef with the Hour of Power. Go to Hour of Power, Shareef Hamid on YouTube. Subscribe and share the channel so we can continue to lift the mind, body, and soul of our people. So tonight we have a very special interview with two of our good brothers. I will let them explain themselves in a short minute here. As always, I'm going to keep you abreast of what's going on in the community with the Hour of Power and with the new Black Love movement. This Saturday, July 28th at 2 p.m. at 177 South Albemarle Street here at Albemarle Park. At 2 p.m., we will have the first inaugural Sister Circle. The Sister Circle, where sisters in the community can come, discuss their issues, commune together, build together, and just be sisters. So that's this Saturday at 2 p.m. here at Albemarle Park, which is the site of the studio here. And this is for all the sisters. This isn't for the brothers. The only thing the brothers is going to be doing is making sure the sisters are safe. So I'm calling on brothers in the community to create a circle outside of the circle to make sure these sisters are safe. Our sisters are the baddest thing walking. They're beautiful. So, of course, people are going to drive by and see these sisters. We got to make sure they're safe. So, brothers, if you're free at 2 p.m. on Saturday, help me secure these sisters. So that's this Saturday at 2 at Albemarle Park, the Sister Circle. The sisters can come, meet each other, greet each other, and discuss anything that concerns them. On Monday, June the 30th at Renaissance Park at 6 p.m., we're going to have a big family reunion. I connected with the Latino community here, the Latino, the Hispanic, and the Brown family. We're all going to come together with the Black Love movement. We're going to meet at Renaissance Park at 6 p.m., weather permitting, and we're going to have a big family reunion. The Latino Unidos activist group, God willing, will be there, and CASA will be there to give us some inspiring words. And then we're going to hit the streets to save our people and to combat violence and bloodshed in the streets. So again, that's this Monday, weather permitting. But my brother Lou Rivera said we're going to meet either way. So that's this Monday, July 30th at 6 p.m. at Renaissance Park, which is on 225 East Princess Street. We're going to meet at 6 p.m. The Black, the Brown, Hispanic community is going to link up with the Black Love movement, and we're going to hit the streets to combat violence and bloodshed in our community. This Monday, July 30th at 6 p.m. Now, I have two special guests here. I'm going to let them introduce themselves. Introduce yourself to us, brother.
My name is Antoine Jr, owner of Stick and Move Boxing. I'm here with I'll let him introduce yourself.
And your name, young man?
My name is Antoine Jr. His son, yeah.
Okay. And before we get started, if anyone wants to call in, the call-in number is 717-846-5067. That's the call-in number if you want to give us a call and make a comment or statement. But we're going to let these two young brothers roll with it a little bit, and then maybe we can do that midway or at the end. So, Mr. Dorm, it's been a long time coming. That's been my saying of late. I know you're very busy, been trying to hook up with you. I can't thank you enough for making time out your busy schedule to finally come in and talk with the Hour of Power, but it's on time. Give us a little background about yourself.
All right. Started a program called Stick and Move Boxing. Before I did boxing, I actually produced music. And what it did, it helped a lot of people have an outlet here in the city. And made a lot of different connections through the city. A lot of talent. But the thing is, with the music, end up stopping. Just people was just going in a different direction. longer for just just speaking for myself. Just wasn't the drive wasn't there. I felt like I could do more. I was more worried about the youth because the shooting and the killings and things that was happening around here, it wasn't the adults that I was dealing with, it was the youth. And I work in the school district now. Working with the school district, I see it firsthand with the different violence, the anger, and things like that. And then also, I was working in a homeless shelter right before. So,
speak up, bro.
I got you. So, started this program, help keep these kids off of the streets. Have been doing it since '09 and had over 600 applicants since we started. So, just trying to make a difference. We're 7 days a week, year round, only closed for major holidays.
Okay. All right. And how long you been into boxing? Antoine Jr, right?
Yeah.
How long you been into boxing?
I've been in boxing for 11 years, ever since I was 2.
2 years old. You've been into boxing.
Yeah.
And you're in the 8th grade?
Yes.
Okay. What school you go to?
McKinley.
McKinley. Okay. All right. And Brother Antoine, you said that you were into music. Was that hip hop? Did you have like a studio similar to this, or?
Yeah. The studio was doing it out of my home. Hip hop, R&B, you name it. It didn't matter. Just we pretty much did it all. It's called Twizzle Productions. That with a lot of artists. I don't know how many. Some successful. I don't want to leave nobody out.
Right.
But a lot of names I can name it. Pretty much, if you did music out here, you most likely came through, our doors as well.
And when you were doing that, did you see that kind of provided an outlet for young brothers to get off of the street?
Yeah, people got a lot off their chest. It was an outlet, so certain people was no longer involved in the things they was involved because they had an outlet. So
what year was this about?
Man, I'll say maybe 04.
Okay,
Yeah,
I was still here.
03, somewhere around there. Probably did it up until about 08 or 09.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you said you seen that it provided an outlet for the young people. Did y'all travel, or was it mostly around here?
We did some traveling. We did a lot of things around here. Like I said, I can go name names, but I don't want to leave nobody out.
I understand.
But, very successful, where we been in, opened up for certain artists where people got deals and things like that. So we was on our way. But like I said, I was always attached to the youth. So for myself, I just kind of just stopped. I do miss it, but at the same time, it's like I'd rather be doing this.
Right. So can you tell the audience how you transition from the hip hop to the boxing?
Well, a lot of people didn't know I used to box myself.
Okay.
Since I was younger, since I probably played around with it since I was 5. And then always had an interest, in boxing. And then I got into it myself, but I got more into the training side of it.
Okay.
And instead of actually competing, I liked learning more and more and more. It wasn't just about competing. So got into training my son, and then a few people said, "Hey, can you train my son? Can you train my son?" It was just like.
And where were you doing this at, like the training?
We first started in the Princess Street Center, then moved to Fireside, then we went to gym after that. So now we're at 120 East Market Street, right next door to the water company, between Yorktown Hotel and the Martin Library, right downtown. So
Okay.
Right in the downtown area, brand new space. It's beautiful.
And who would you say? I know you said you don't want to name names, but who would you say was most instrumental in introducing you to boxing? Because you said you started at 5 and your son started at 2.
My uncle, Mario Shockley, was the first. He boxed here in Illinois. He boxed in Illinois, and I think he boxed here as well at the College Avenue gym. And then also my trainer, Kenneth Brown, he was from Philly. I actually met him when I was working in the shelter. And he seen, the way I carried myself, and I had a boxing chain on. And he met me. He said, "Yeah, you don't know nothing about boxing." I was like, "All right," So we ended up hitting it off. He ends up, telling me a lot of stories. He actually was the sparring partner of Marvin Hagler and Pernell Whitaker. He actually helped Holyfield when he was younger.
Mr. Brown? You
Yeah,
said?
Mr. Brown. Yeah, so he was straight out of Philly. He was going to have a title shot with Mark Breland, but he was shot 3 days before the title, and he got shot in the eye. So he still was good. He just died of cancer about a year and a half ago. But yeah, so he showed me a whole nother side of boxing. So between them two, they're the reasons why.
Right. And Mr. Shockley, that's my dude there. I mean, that's
my uncle. That's
I mean,
my
that,
father.
just shows how small, how a lot of people are connected. All his beautiful, daughters, and he has a son too, right?
Yeah, yes, sir.
Yeah. I definitely gotta bring his daughter Marissa on. I hate to put her out there like that, but I've been getting on her because she's doing some great thing with the sisters, young sisters. So I'll be getting with her real soon. But I didn't know you were connected to Mr. Shockley.
Yeah, that's
And so those who were instrumental in getting you started. So what prompted you to get your son into it? Do you even remember that at 2? Do you remember any of that?
No.
What's your earliest memory of your dad getting you going in boxing?
It's a video. I think it's online still. But I was hitting a tiny bag in a closet. That's the farthest I can go.
Okay, all right. And was there any point where you were like, Dad, I don't know about this, or were you open to it the whole time?
Yeah, there was some, because it's like a little bit tiring, but it works, and it helps you be successful.
Right. Okay. Someone, Mr. Tony said you're gonna be the future champion. You know Mr. Robert Tony?
Yeah. From Jersey. Yeah,
we hope that's what we pushing for.
Yeah, I love
So
that's my boy.
So I always remember back, because I'm just getting back here from North Carolina, and I always was wishing that it was more, boxing more of an influence, especially with us, being neighbors, of Philly. And I always remember a brother by the name of Buddy Gould.
That's my man. Yeah. Great Gould. So if you ask him the same question that you asked me about his influence, I'm quite sure he would name Greg.
Right. Well, so what was your connect? Because when I was coming up, and like I said, I moved away for so long, and whenever I heard boxing, here in York City, his name always come up. What was your connection with him? Dad and son.
Greg, I never met the son. Yeah, so I always heard about him. But Greg, he actually used to teach me too.
Wow.
Yeah, he used to teach me. Always try to get me in there. I guess his ex-wife and my mom was friends, and he's always talking about boxing. I was a kid, I didn't really want to mess with it. As I got older, reached out to him, and he helped me out a lot. And then he really poured into my son, and then also Carney Bowman.
Okay.
Yeah, so he's done a lot with my son as well. So I can't take all responsibility for his success.
All right. Now, was Vonnie Grimes Gym, were they instrumental in providing a place for you guys to train, or was it mostly the Princess Street Center?
Vonnie Grimes, the actual gym, no, they do a lot of things with the community. The city owns that. Right. That was my dream gym, to bring that back. And a lot of people don't know the ring that we actually have is the old Vonnie Grimes ring. So
wow.
It's actually that original ring.
You mean the ring that you train in now?
Yeah. So we actually got that from Mr. Norman Laws.
Wow.
Norman Laws blessed me with the ring before he passed away. He, I used to work with him, matter of fact, at the Yorktown Hotel. And, this guy, old man, was out working all of us. Just couldn't understand. And then they said, oh, yeah, he used to be a boxer. He used to be a boxing trainer. And we started talking, and then, went from there. And then once I started my own program, I actually reached out to my Uncle Mario, and then we went to his house and said, yeah, you can have it.
Wow.
Yeah,
wow.
So the ring we have is actually the old College Avenue ring.
Again, this is the Hour of Power with Brother Shareef with Antoine Sr. and Antoine Jr. 717-846-5067 is the call-in number if you want to support these two young brothers. I got a young star coming up. So moving forward, brother, if some young brothers around here, because that's why I wanted to talk to you so much. You're doing great things, but I think what you're doing should be out there even more. If some young brothers was interested, because like I was telling you, it was a coach named Coach Massey down in Durham, North Carolina, and I used to connect with him before I moved back here, and I would take my boys, to the gym. They're not trained or anything like that, but they were so enamored just by being in a boxing ring. If some young brothers wanted, to get training or interested in it, what's the process they gotta go through? Is it like a fee, or is it training? Because I'm totally in the dark when it comes to that, at least around here. How do they get started?
There is a fee. It's $50 a month. Like I said, we're 7 days a week. Summertime hours is 2 to 6.
Mm-hmm.
Weekends is 9 to 11 in the morning. During the school year, the weekdays change just from 4 to 6.
Mm-hmm.
There's an application, and on the application, there's questions asked for the parents and
Mm-hmm.
also for the actual boxer, as far as the grades. Also, I want to know their self-esteem. Sometimes a person could be too cocky, then we gotta humble them. Sometimes a person's.
Now, what do you mean by that? Mm-hmm.
You got a person. Sometimes you got these kids out here that think they could beat the world.
Oh,
So you got to break them down and then build them up.
Mm-hmm.
Then you got kids that needs lifted,
All right.
and then you got to lift them.
So
up.
it's a balance.
So
Mhm.
you got to bring a balance to it.
Mhm.
So that's what we specialize in.
Mhm.
Bringing a balance. We make sure that everybody's here
Mhm.
and not here or here.
So that's very interesting. You said that. So what you do, you being a professional in this, if someone comes in and thinks that they're too too cocky, what could be the detrimental effect as far as the group and then them actually being a boxer? What's the detrimental effect of having that kind of attitude?
What we read about, in the paper, what we read about, a lot of times people that act like that are the most ones that has the most fear. It's like a dog. Like, you ever walk past a fence and they're barking at you. You just stand there and just look at him.
Mm-hmm.
He stops.
Mm-hmm.
This is all bark. It's all talk.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't throw them in a ring and let them just duke it out.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes you have to take it, just go ahead and get in there.
Mm-hmm.
So I throw them in there with an advanced person. So say somebody's around my son's age.
Mm-hmm.
I throw them in there, and then we don't break them down. We don't sit there and beat anybody up or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
But they realize that it's more to fighting than just swinging. There's actual technique behind it.
Mm-hmm.
They realize they're not that in shape. You have to be in shape to box. There's a lot
Mm-hmm.
that goes into it. 3 minutes inside a ring is a big difference.
I hear that a lot.
A regular street fight,
Mm-hmm.
maybe a minute tops.
Right.
It's not that long.
Mm-hmm.
You watch these videos online, it's always like a 30, 40-second video because that's all they last.
Mm-hmm.
Well, meanwhile, we're doing 36 minutes straight.
Right.
I mean,
Mm-hmm.
when it comes to professional,
Mm-hmm.
big as I am, I could do rounds after rounds. Like, so if you
Mm-hmm.
willing to go rounds, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
You have to put in the work.
Right.
And to hit somebody as hard as you can, and they just look at you and just keep coming. That's the most scariest thing.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it was just giving a taste of reality.
Mm-hmm. So on the flip side, corny, that what techniques or mental strategy do you use if someone has low self-esteem?
Low self-esteem, build them up. My workouts, my numbers are high. So, man, I got to do 100 push-ups. Yeah, you could do it. No, I can't. Watch. I bet you can.
Mm-hmm.
They conquer that.
Mm-hmm.
100 sit-ups, you got it.
Mm-hmm.
They conquer that.
Mm-hmm.
Then they get in the ring. You got to get in there with the champ. I see him on YouTube and this and this and that.
Mm-hmm.
So we know how to do just enough. And it's like, yo, I was just doing my thing.
Mm-hmm.
Then they're eager to get in there with somebody that's around their level. And
Mm-hmm.
they realize it's not that bad. So now their confidence is coming up.
Mm-hmm.
And you're building it. So like I said, you break down the ones that need broken down. You build the ones up that needs it.
Mm-hmm.
So you just have to be able to identify who's who.
Mm-hmm. And typically, how long does it last before someone that's new is ready to actually do a match? Does it depend on the mindset, the training, or how does that work?
Me as a coach, Also, I have other boxers, including him. We talk about it, and we'll see if they're ready, meaning that they understand the commands that's given.
Mm-hmm.
You know, throw this number. We have a whole number system. Throw this, do that. They understand what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
Also, they're not getting angry in the ring. If you're angry, your mind's distorted, and you're not going to win.
Mm-hmm.
Also, what I do something similar to karate. I have different levels. So how karate has white belt, black belt, and things like that. We have different levels where it's different gloves. So you start off on blue, then red, then black, then gold being the highest. So you have to be able to do these workouts, also understand what we're talking about, and be able to do it at a drop of a dime, and just be able to listen to the commands. Once you get the gold, then you're ready to compete. So it just depends on the person, how much they put into it. A person can be athletic and be a superstar on the field or on the court, but boxing is a totally different thing.
Right.
You know what I mean? So just depends on the person.
And Antoine Jr. When was your first match? Do you remember? Can you tell us about that?
Yeah, my first match was in Golden Gloves. I forgot where the place was though. Hanover. Yeah, it was in Hanover.
Hanover here in PA.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yeah, it was in Golden Gloves. Yeah, I won that fight. I forgot what the scorecards was.
Okay. Was you? And you said in 2015 that was your first actual fight?
Yes.
Okay. Was you nervous?
Yeah.
You was. So what? Did your dad like teach you any techniques to get rid of the butterflies, or after you got out there and moved around a little bit, just kind of went away on its own?
It just went away on its own.
It did.
Yeah.
Who would you say was your? Well, first of all, how many fights have you fought altogether?
62.
62.
Yes, sir.
Whoa! Wow! I thought you was going to say like 6 or 7 or something. 62. Who would you say was your toughest opponent? You remember?
I had a lot of tough fights, but I
can't really pinpoint it to one person. I understand. Okay. Wow, that's 62 fights, and he's just 13, right?
Yes, sir.
Wow.
Yeah, his record is 51 and 11.
Yeah.
51 and 11.
Okay, that's impressive, man. To be so young, I thought at the most he was going to say 10 fights, because I guess I'm thinking like, professional boxing, them guys, if you can get 2 fights out of them a year, so I'm thinking a young guy like that,
He probably fights about twice a month, and then if you have a tournament, long as you're winning in a tournament, you keep on going. You can fight 4 days in a row. So
wow.
There go 4 fights right there. So then also leading up to a tournament, so say you got something like the Silver Gloves, Junior Olympics, or Golden Gloves, you fight in the states, then you fight in the regionals, then you fight in the nationals, and each of them is 4 fights. That's 12 fights right there.
Wow.
So, and we usually get anywhere between first, second, and third place.
Tell me, how long is the actual name Stick and Move? How long has that been in existence?
09.
09.
Yes.
Tell me about how all that developed, and then the tournaments, some of the national tournaments. Tell me about that.
Stick and Move. It's been since 2009. We're a nonprofit. Looking for a grant writer. We definitely need help in that. But yeah, we've been since 2009. We also have partnered with Suzanne Burns. We partner with Justice Works, Diacon. Your college comes over during the school year, and they send students over there to help tutor. The list goes on. So we have worked with a lot of different.
They help come tutor at the one. Can you give that address again? Because I want to keep circling that through.
120 East Market Street.
And you said that's in between the Yorktown Hotel,
and Martin Library.
Okay, Yorktown Hotel.
Yeah.
Okay, so if you go past Queen Street, you went too far.
You go past Queen Street, you went too far.
So it's right in the middle there.
Yeah, we're right next door to the water company.
Oh yeah, on the same side of the street.
Same side, right next door.
Oh, I'll be. And you said you're there. And what's the hours?
2 to 6 during the summer for the weekdays, and then 9 to 11 in the morning on weekends.
Okay.
We also do personal training as well.
So 2 to 6 p.m. Monday through Friday, and then 9 to 11 a.m. on Saturday and Sunday, or just Saturday?
Both.
Okay,
Yeah.
9 to 11. Well, I'm gonna definitely be paying you a visit, man. Is it okay if I bring my boys by?
Bring 'em.
Yeah. 9 and 10.
Perfect.
9 and 10. Yeah, they like boxing, and they just
Perfect.
go to a different level, when they actually in the ring. I remember taking them to North Carolina with Coach Massey, and that just took them to another level.
Yeah.
So you said you started. How'd you come up with the name Stick and Move? Was it just something popped in your mind, or?
I was a Biggie fan when I was young, and there was a song that he said it in there, and I just stuck. I was like,
Okay.
This is it. So it stuck.
Uh-huh.
So, so that's how it came up.
Right. Do you have any interaction with actually in the city of Philly? Because they're real big with the boxing gyms and Joe Frazier. We're not far from there. We're right outside of there. Do you have any interactions with any of the brothers there, with gyms there? I think Bernard Hopkins got a gym there. Any interaction?
None of the major names, but
Mhm.
we know almost all the gyms in Philly. So
Mhm.
he's known there.
Right.
So Philly, Baltimore. Baltimore's like a second home to us, so is Philly.
Mm-hmm.
So between them two, between Philly and Baltimore, we're there all the time.
Wow. Mm-hmm. Tell us how the tournaments work. Like, how did you get linked up? Because you're like national.
Mm-hmm.
How did you get linked up with, going national with with your organization here?
Each tournament is different and has a different feel. Also, they're worth points, and that's how you could actually get ranked. A lot of people, like if you, this is the funny thing that a lot of boxers talk about. So when you hear somebody say that they boxed before they was in the Golden Gloves, really it's not a big thing. That's actually prior to the tournament, and like himself, like we don't really get involved in it because you don't really get ranking points, at least not at his age. So he won it a few times in the Golden Gloves. Silver Gloves is anywhere from, 14? 14 on down, right?
Yeah.
Or is it 15? Yeah, 14.
Yeah. What is the age range that you work with?
I work from eight all the way to adult.
So the youngest is 8.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
It can't be younger than 8.
No, sir.
All the way up to adult.
All the way up to adult. So the Silver Glove tournament is for the younger guys. He just won the national for that.
Wow. And that was in?
That was in Kansas City.
Okay.
And then Ringside, which is probably our favorite tournament. Ringside tournament is an international tournament. So you have people from China, Russia,
Wow.
Australia, all over.
Anyone from Africa?
Was there?
I ain't seen.
I don't know. I don't think I've seen. I know I've seen Jamaica. I've seen Hawaii was probably one of the toughest teams there.
Hawaii?
So surprisingly, Hawaii was tough.
Now are they? We're all over this globe, but did you see any black people from Hawaii that was representing Hawaii, or was it?
No.
What was the ethnic group coming from there? I'm just interested.
They was Hawaiian.
All right.
But they was probably surprised me. They was the most thorough group.
Okay. All right. We got a caller coming in. Mind if I take the call? All right. Hour of Power. Wa alaikum salam. Hold on. Let me put you on speaker.
Sure enough.
Yes. State your name and your question.
My name is Sadia.
Oh, what's up, babe? How you feeling?
Antoine!
Where you at now?
Guess what?
What?
I am currently married and I live in Wisconsin, but I am home for the next few weeks visiting my parents.
Okay, well, you got the address. Come by.
No doubt. I just want to say congratulations to everything going on. Stick and move for life.
Yeah.
Man, congratulations. You may not remember me, but you are doing your thing. I'm going to stop by definitely.
Thank you.
You remember her? Sadia?
Emily Rose.
From Fireside.
That name sounds.
I'll show you. He got to see the pictures.
Yeah, he's a star, so he don't remember everyone.
Yeah. I'm so happy for you, my brother. I can't wait to see you.
All right, I hope I see you soon.
Yes, please. Yeah, we're going to need a little couple weeks workout because, I have a 2-year-old daughter now. So,
wow, man, congratulations.
Thank you so much. I would just love to see both of y'all. You take care of yourself and congratulations.
All right, you too.
All right, tell the family I said salam.
Definitely. Walaikum salam.
All right, that's our good sister Sadia. Know her family real well. Helped me along, spiritually. and beautiful family, beautiful people. Your father, brother Salim, mother, sister Shida, Abdul, Samia, Sadiqa, the whole family. Just a beautiful, beautiful family and pillars in our community. Glad they called in. So you were telling me about the the different levels of the tournament.
Yeah.
I didn't know it was broken down like that. I know someone 8 or 9 ain't gonna be fighting someone 15. So how does that work? If you're 8 or 9, what's the cutoff, or of course the weight, and all that? I understand that. So how do they section off that?
You can't be older or younger than anybody 24 months.
Okay, so basically 2 years.
Yeah, 2 years.
So what if he's this young brother is 8 and he's 10, but the 10-year-old is 160 pounds? How does that work?
You can't be 24 months, and you also can't be more than 5 pounds.
More than 5 pounds. Okay.
5 less, give or take.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So would a 10-year-old, say a 10-year-old is a big guy, but he's almost in a weight class of a 12 or 14-year-old? How do they?
They would struggle to find him an actual match, but there is somebody out there. They just
have to find them.
Search.
But either way, they can't break that rule of the 2 year in age. Just got to find someone in his weight class.
Yes, sir.
Have you ever ran into that?
His weight class is pretty popular. Probably one of the most popular.
What would he be considered, your son,
He's
Antoine Jr.?
now 95. He's ranked in 90 and he's ranked in 95.
Okay. Yeah. All right. So continuing on, you said it's the silver. Right.
Silver gloves, ringside, and then Junior Olympics, we just came in second place in that one. And then the elite tournaments, that's the big one. That's a new one. At least new for his age group. That's the biggest one that gives you the more points. That's like the most important.
Wow.
It's like winning the Super Bowl.
And you said the stiffest competition you saw was people from Hawaii.
And that particular tournament.
That particular one.
Yeah.
Was that the one in Kansas City?
That was the one in Kansas City.
Okay. Yeah. Like I said, like I was telling you before the show, the brother in North Carolina was telling me about. He was hyped, getting ready for that last year. And you said you guys won that tournament.
Yes, sir. We won that tournament.
So most likely because he had some young brothers, your son's age. Most likely he was in that tournament.
Probably.
Yeah. His name's Coach Massey from Durham, North Carolina. I hope.
Sounds familiar.
Yeah. And around that time last year, I had trouble catching up to him, because he was getting ready for that tournament. And at that same time, they were hyping up the Conor McGregor Floyd Mayweather fight. What did you think of that fiasco, to say the least? I'm gonna go to your son. Did you think that was even worth the time of day?
I don't think so.
No. Was it any doubt in your mind that Floyd was going to smash that dude?
No.
No. Why is that?
Because Conor McGregor had no boxing skills, and Mayweather been in for I forgot how long he's been in it, but he's been in way longer than he is.
Right. Coming up, other than your dad, was there anyone on a professional level that inspired you and you said, I like his style and I want to be like him, other than your dad? Who inspired you on a professional level?
Ray Leonard and Roy Jones.
Roy Jones.
Yes.
and Sugar Ray Leonard. Sugar Ray Leonard is real old school. And before the show came on, your dad was saying how he likes the old school stuff. So you were inspired by old school boxers?
Yes.
What was it about Sugar Ray Leonard that caught your eye? Because that's real old school.
His hand speed and his footwork.
Wow. Okay. And Roy Jones actually is one of my favorite. I'm really disappointed he kind of fell off the way he did. But what was it about him that kind of caught your eye?
I like the way he's slick and he knows how to counter punch good.
You know your stuff. And on that same question, Mr. Dorm, you coming up, who name me 2 or 3 boxers, because it's kind of hard to pinpoint one unless there is one that really inspired you, their style, their technique. Like who inspired you on a professional level?
Well, growing up, Holyfield.
Holyfield, okay.
I was a Holyfield fan. Holyfield and Tyson.
Mm-hmm.
So that when they fought, It was a dream come true.
Mm-hmm.
Now, actually knowing more about boxing,
Mm-hmm.
Sugar Ray Robinson.
Wow, that's real old school.
Sugar Ray Robinson's the best ever.
Doesn't get the credit he deserves.
In a boxing world, yes.
Mm-hmm.
People that actually know boxing, but as far as like everyday people, no.
Mm-hmm.
But in the boxing world, yes. Anybody would say he's the best.
Right.
Yeah.
Best middleweight, you think?
Pound for pound.
Pound for pound.
Pound for pound. Best
Wow.
ever.
Now, I don't know. Like the people I talk to, people have their own opinion. His name doesn't come up as much, I guess, because they're so concentrated on Ali. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't hear his name. That's why I'm saying that. And I'm not disagreeing with you.
Yeah.
I don't hear his name as much when it talks about pound for pound, the best. His name doesn't come up. Like now, they like Ali, Floyd Mayweather. I don't hear Sugar Ray Robinson's name that much. Right?
And it depends on who you talk to.
Right.
If you Google it, which I tell everybody right now, Google it. Ali says I'm the greatest heavyweight ever to live, but the greatest boxer of all time, Sugar Ray Robinson. That came out of Ali's mouth. So Floyd Mayweather goes around saying he's the greatest. But if you Google that, Google his uncle and his father, he was saying Ray Robinson's the best. So these are coming from his father and his uncle.
Wow.
You know what I mean? So Sugar Ray Robinson, by far, is the best. He did what Ali did, what Tyson did, what Willie Pep did. He did what everybody did. He's the originator. So Sugar Ray Robinson is the best and the greatest of all time.
Now you mentioned Mike Tyson. My dad was a huge boxing fan. May he rest in peace. And he's the one who really got me interested in boxing. And actually, he took me. I was there. I actually have a picture with Larry Holmes when he won the title in '79. I think from not Sonny Liston. I forget who it was. Kenny Norton. Yeah, I was there when and after the pre-fight, after the fight was over with, I got a picture with Larry Holmes because he's from right here in this area, the Eastern Assassin.
Yeah, we met him about a year or two ago.
Wow, and but my dad, he was real knowledgeable in boxing, and I wanted to get your opinion, both of y'all opinion on this. He said that Mike Tyson couldn't box. He said he could fight, but he said he didn't really have a plan. He said he was a slugger. He said he wouldn't have lasted 5 minutes with Ali because he was just more of a slugger. And then it seemed like your second favorite or your other favorite, Holyfield, kind of exposed that when he started hitting him and he would clinch him and was pushing him off and he couldn't get inside and start wailing off with those haymakers. It seemed like he was confused, and it seemed like his career started going down after that. Where do you rank Mike Tyson?
He's underrated for his boxing, and he's very underrated for his boxing. I don't rank him high.
Maybe that's what my dad was referring to.
I don't rank him high like some people would. But also I feel as though they're taking away from his skills by saying he's a slugger. He's not. He just does everything explosive and fast.
What do you think happened to him?
Too much is personal, but he had a great jab. He just did it totally different. You want to take that call?
All right, hold that thought, bro, because you was on point with that, man. Hour of power. Okay, hold on a second. State your name and your question, ma'am.
Oh.
If you want it, you don't have to.
I'm Grandma. I'm Miss Antoine Jr.'s grandma.
Oh, okay. All right. We got to get Grandma, man.
Yeah.
Grandma,
I'm so proud.
Yes. Did you want to say something to your grandson here? We got him here. He's doing a great job.
Yeah, he is. Yeah. Tell him come over and have spaghetti and meatballs.
You gotta make weight. Y'all always trying to fatten them up.
Yeah.
That's what grandmoms do, man.
Well, how you been?
I'm doing good.
That's good.
Alrighty.
All
Any,
right. I
eh,
just wanted to say I love him and I'm so proud of him.
Love you too. Thank you.
all right. Well, stay in tune with the show moving forward. Thanks for calling in.
Okay, you're welcome.
Thank you. Mhm. All right, grandmom calling in. Yes. So you were saying that you wouldn't rank Mike Tyson. Would you say in the top 10,
Top 20.
top 20?
Top 20.
Now is that heavyweights or all pound for pound?
Heavyweight, not pound for pound.
Top 20. That's about where I was thinking. Maybe that's what my dad was,
Yeah.
referring to. Now, if you was training him, they were saying when Customato was with him, he was, moving. He had more movement than after he passed away. Like, if you was training him, because you're a master trainer, what would you have done to keep his skill level so he would have been still, the best at his time?
What Customato did different, he was able to tame him in his personal life. And I think if he had that father figure, like Customato, if Customato wouldn't have passed so early, Mike Tyson definitely be even higher in the rankings. So his personal life actually interfered with some things. That time that he spent, 6 years in prison or whatever it was.
Yeah, he was down for a minute.
Things like that. And then, like I said, I'm a Holyfield fan. But styles make fights.
Right.
And that's and a lot of people don't understand. Even when I was younger, I was a Tyson fan. I was a Holyfield fan as well, but all my friends, Tyson's gonna beat him. Tyson's gonna beat him. And a lot of people only remember the ear biting, but they fought twice.
Right.
They fought 6 months later. I said Holyfield was gonna win. Styles
right.
Fight.
I thought it
so,
was.
Quick little boxing secret. So you got Foreman, Frazier, and Ali. Rock, paper, scissors. Okay.
Right.
Who's a rock? Foreman, Frazier, Ali.
You mean out of those three?
Yeah.
Foreman.
Who's scissors?
Ali. No.
Think about it. Scissors is attack and they cut and they short. They go.
Oh yeah, Frazier. Definitely Frazier. Yeah.
Who's paper?
Ali. Man.
Okay. So Foreman lost to who?
Ali.
Right. Rock, paper, scissors.
Right.
Who Ali lose to?
Frazier.
Who Frazier lose to?
Foreman.
See? So styles make fights. So
that's a great analogy,
so
man.
when you got somebody like Bernard Hopkins, Sugar Ray Robinson, Holyfield, Roy Jones, they understand this concept. They don't have, even Floyd. They don't have one certain style. They have all three. And depending on who they're going to fight is the way that they're going to fight this person. So Tyson's similar to Frazier is just going to attack. So you don't run from Tyson. And that's what Holyfield did. So the three main fights that people remember Tyson losing was Buster Douglas, Lennox Lewis, and Holyfield. None of them ran from him.
Right.
They stood their ground, used their jab.
Well, Lennox Lewis didn't have to. He was just way too big and long, that reach and that drive. Yeah.
He tore him up. So styles make fights. So when you're one dimensional, this is what hurts you. This is what I installed into my son because we was like Tyson. We was going at each other, at people and things like that. We had to switch it up. Now we can do all three: rock, paper, and scissors.
Let me ask your son something, Antoine Jr. What would you think it would take to beat Floyd Mayweather? Because it seems like no one could beat him. Like if you was his size, right, and you working with your dad, what style or what technique would you think? Because it seems like he's so hard to hit. No one's really who's really hitting. Like no one's really hitting. Shane. Yep, Sugar Shane hit him, right? But he didn't finish the job. Like, what would you do? I know that's a loaded question, but what would you do to get at him?
I never really thought about that.
Right.
I don't really know, to be honest.
He can be beat though, right?
Yes,
He's not.
He's not.
So if you take, put him back in the early '90s, '80s with Hearns, Hagler,
oh gosh,
Leonard, Duran. Maybe even back when Chavez was there. You put him back there with these type of fighters. You have Melcher Taylor and people like that. They fought different. You cannot throw one punch at a time on him. Also, his shoulder, he's protecting his chin. That's it.
Right.
I use that same type of defense. I'm very similar.
I mean, kind of like, yeah.
I'm a big James Toney fan as well.
Right,
so
right.
Everybody sees me box. I box very similar to James Toney. Both from Detroit, Michigan, and everything else. So similar styles. You cannot, with a fighter like that, you can't throw more than one. You have to throw more than one punch, and also you got to aim higher. You can't aim for that chin. You got to aim higher to lift them up, and you have to double up your jab.
You mean headshots?
Yeah. If you want to go for a head, you have to aim a little higher. You can't go for that chin, because as soon as you go for that chin, I'm catching it right on my shoulder. You throw that hook, I'm catching it here. You go to the body, I'm catching it here. You have to keep going. Miguel Cotto did well against him. Baltimore did good against him. What's my man that beat Broner? What's his name? Madonna did well against him. And if you think about how they fought him, they just kept coming. Zab Judah actually was winning the first half of the fight. So he did excellent against Floyd. Then that Floyd made the adjustments and everything else, but he was letting his hands go. You have to let your hands go in a fighter like that. So is he the greatest for our time? Yeah, he is. But if you put him back then with that era with Hearns and Hagler and all them, he wouldn't have been undefeated.
No, definitely not.
He wouldn't have been undefeated.
Who do you think would have gave him the most trouble out of Hearns, Hagler, and your favorite Sugar Ray? Who do you think would have gave him the most fits?
And Duran, all of them.
Duran.
All of them.
Yeah, Duran was bringing it.
All of them.
Yeah, Duran was bringing it.
All of them will give him trouble. All of them.
Wow.
So they're just a different breed. So when you talk about rankings and things like that, even with other sports, they're like, okay, who's better, LeBron, Kobe, or Jordan? You have to look at the foods that we have, the exercise equipment we have, the enhancements we have, even down to the shoes we have. You have to put them in that same era. So if you take Floyd back there with the same training equipment and things that Sugar Ray Robinson had, would he been just as good? You know what I mean? So you have to make it an even playing field. If you gave Sugar Ray Robinson everything that Floyd's had access to, and nowadays, would he be, he'd be even better. Right. So I just can't see Floyd being in that era and be undefeated.
No, I definitely agree. You know what I mean? I definitely agree with that. He came along at the right time.
Because back then, you could have a guy that had a terrible record, and he still was good.
Right. With so much competition.
Everybody was good back then.
Right.
You know what I mean?
The golden era of boxing, man.
It was different. So I just feel as though if you placed him back in that era, which his father and his uncle fought, and it was good too. But he just wouldn't. I just don't see him being undefeated.
Quick question for you, Antoine Jr. A little off of boxing. What advice would you give to young people? Because we got about 10 minutes. I mean, we could be here all day. I'm just loving this conversation, man. I definitely got to talk to y'all more. What would you say to young people coming up, how to, stay out of trouble, chase their dreams in a positive way like you have? What advice would you give to them?
I think anybody can do any sport they want. They just have to have the right mindset to whatever they're going to do, and they have to be dedication. Like, they have to have dedication. They want to do it.
Right.
You have to want to do what you want to do.
And how do you balance out, being so dedicated to sports, but your academic life too? Like, how do you balance all that out?
And
do you have like a schedule?
Yeah. In the summer, it's from 2 to 6, and in like school time is from 4 to 6, because school's from like 8 to 3:45, and then after school I just go to the gym.
Right. So you got it all mapped out. Okay. So that's great. We definitely need to put more light on stories like this so our youth can stay, on the right track. What advice can you give and put your information out there again to inspire youth? Like, it's a lot of crazy stuff going on in this city. Is anything, because you had mentioned about college students coming to help out, is anything else that you're offering to help get these young people off the street and inspire them to come into the gym?
We have a lot of athletes that come to us. Boxing, I say, other than swimming, best workout. And if you're trying to get that scholarship for football, basketball, lacrosse, whatever you do. Come join us. You know, it's going to be the best workout you get. You see things differently. Your reaction time is going to be a lot better. You'll be in the best shape of your life. So we're year round. So during your off season from baseball, whatever you do, come check us out.
And what did you say? I know young people don't want to hear this, but school will be here in another month. So what are the hours for the school hours again?
4 to 6 weekdays.
4 to 6 p.m. So that's after school. And then what about the weekend?
9 to 11 in the morning.
Not so that doesn't change. 9 to 11. That's Saturday and Sunday.
Yes,
Saturday and Sunday. Okay. What's the next big tournament you got coming up?
PAL Nationals in September.
Where's that at?
California.
Wow, California. So how many do you take? Do you take your whole crew, or does it like certain ones? Does it depend?
I would love to. Would love to, but it's very expensive. And then also, right now, as far as boxers that's in our gym, he's the only one that's on that level. So
you mean to go national?
To just hop in a big tournament like that.
Oh, okay.
We have some young ones, a couple 8, 9-year-olds. They're coming up. They're tough too, so they'll be there soon.
What can the community do to support the great work that you're doing? Like what can the community do? What can I do? Like I don't want this to be an interview and I interviewed Brother Antoine and his son and then y'all just go off in the sunset. This is about building, relationships and supporting each other. Like what can we do to keep this thing going and to support you?
We're one of the very few that has our own nonprofit. We love to partner with other programs. Doesn't have to be sports. We'd love to bring it all under one umbrella and do something with. We have the nonprofit number. Help us utilize it. Just basically come together. And not have everything so separate.
Are there like any tournaments or events that are right here in the city, or is everything always outside the city?
You have the Golden Gloves. That's here.
Okay, now when is that? Because I would love to attend that. My boys would have loved to attend that.
When is the Golden Gloves? March.
Yeah.
Yeah, March. Sometime in March.
So March of 2019 is the next thing to be right here in the city.
Yeah, March, Hanover, Lancaster area. But
okay, not here in York City. It's probably hard for a venue, right?
Yeah, the venue's here.
So is that let's talk about that the last couple minutes. We got like 6 minutes. What because we need as much attention, especially positive attention, as possible. What would it take to have a big time boxing venue with your son and others right here in York? Not Hanover, not Lancaster, right here. What would it take?
Money.
Right.
Money. We know how to do it. We got the ring. We got registered judges, referees, and stuff like that.
Got all that stuff.
We got everything we need. It just costs money.
Wow.
And to get the sanction and all that good stuff, so it just costs money. The venue, we got that. We got 2 different locations.
Where would that be if you could pull it off?
It could be at our gym and also one of
the one on East Market.
Yeah. And then we're also,
so you got the space to bring the people in, and
it could be there, or it could be at the skating rink. A good friend of mine actually runs a skating rink too, so it'll be there. Either one.
That's the one by York Catholic.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
They have the ring and everything there.
Everything. Yeah.
Wow.
So
okay.
It's just money. That's it.
How far away you think you from making that happen?
Didn't really put too much focus in it, just because the
large cost and expense,
cost and expense and things like that.
So that one in March that you're talking about, that would be, where would that be?
Probably Hanover.
Hanover.
Yeah. Yeah. The other boxing gym that's out here, a good friend of mine, he actually helped us out when we lost our previous building. He let us stay there for 3 months, so it's 2 gyms in one. It was beautiful. Julio Alvarez, he owns Lincoln Way Boxing on West Shore.
Oh, I didn't even know that existed.
Yeah,
okay.
That's actually where I used to box at too.
Latino brother.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. Okay, that's great. So the next one coming up is in, you said California. That's the next.
That's big tournament, but there's a fight this weekend in Harrisburg. The guy that there's a family that actually helps sponsors my son. We met him in one of the nationals. Fell in love with my son. He seen my son beat a kid that was very known, and now he sponsors. You know, he helps us out to get to these major tournaments, and he's actually bringing his whole team from Denver to come here. So it's gonna be Denver versus PAS in Harrisburg this weekend.
So your son will be fighting this weekend.
See, with him, we get people sometimes that don't show up. A lot of people in this area doesn't want to fight him. It's very hard to get fights.
Wow.
Yeah, so
man, you got people shook like that, man.
So when we go to these tournaments, you don't have a choice, because once you register for that weight or age, so to get him for a regular show is real hard. So he has 2 or 3 people that might come. So we hope that they do come.
Okay, so that's in Harrisburg. I'm gonna definitely stay in contact, because I haven't been to a boxing match in like forever, you know. So is there like a website? Is it, because we thought we were Facebook friends and we weren't. So I'm like, man, why ain't I keeping up with this brother? Do you put on your Facebook page, you know, my son is gonna be fighting, if it's local? I know if it's, you know, far away, then most likely no one can attend, but
I never want to disappoint anybody, have anybody travel, and
right,
and he doesn't get a fight, because it has happened. It's like we train for this fight, and then the person's like, oh no, we'd rather match him up with this person. He just fought last weekend in Baltimore, matter of fact. The guy showed up, and we had a second round TKO.
Wow.
Yeah.
Man, you doing your thing, bro. I'm real proud of you. So we're winding down here. We have about a little over about 2 minutes left. So Antoine Sr., Antoine Jr., what would his title be right now? Does he actually have a title right now?
A few.
He has a few.
Yeah, he has a few. And
okay.
Then, he's ranked number 4 at 95 and ranked number 10 at 90. His rankings went down at 90 because he moved to 95.
Okay. All right. Well, this is the Hour of Power with Brother Shareef, with Antoine Durham, with Stick and Move, 120 East Market.
Yes, sir.
The summer hours, even though the summer is winding down, is 2 to 6, 9 to 11 on Saturday and Sunday, and 4 to 6 with the school coming up, and then 9 to 11 Saturday and Sunday. It's been a pleasure. I'm going to be staying in contact with both of you. Like I said, I'm going to be bringing my sons by so they can visit the gym. 9/11 on the weekend, 2 to 6 during the week. You'll probably see me next week, willing. So this is the Hour of Power, and remember the events coming up. The Sister Circle this Saturday, July 28th at Albemarle Park at 2 p.m. and then the Big Family Reunion on July the 30th at Renaissance Park, 225 East Princess Street. Thank you for listening. Peace and blessings.